Yeah, I think we can start, right? Pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Is my mic okay?
Oh yeah, golden.
Nice. Yo, Kiwi.
Yo, what's up?
Yo. Okay. Everybody's on board. So yeah, pretty excited. So uh I guess before we start, I like to say like anyone who has any questions and would like to come on the stage and speak, just raise your hand. So yeah, that's super cool. If you want to come and ask some questions, because I believe there are like many questions around the land, around some of the roadmap as well. But today's main point and the main things we are going to talk about is the land itself. And yeah, so we released the trailer last week, and it was not just a trailer for Land Mint itself. It actually was a gameplay trailer for a game we're building. So this is what we thought will be something different this time. That instead of like giving out and showing like a CGI, we will show what we actually are working on. So this is almost like a behind the scenes development, and yeah, like I think it's pretty exciting to see how Zverse is evolving and how it's turning into um, open world MMO and seeing all these different biomes and depth what lands are opening up for the Zevers. It's just it's on another level. So yeah, I guess we can go through some few points. Jekyll, feel free to jump in at any time and discuss any of these points. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so one thing I think we never have talked about previously, and this is something what we've been working on in terms of design behind the lands. We'll get to like some details a bit later, but this is this was basically like one of the missing pieces to place Zevers lands in this spot where lands actually make sense for a game to have. And this is the multi-chain part. So I'll try to explain. So generally, the way we are building the lands and the way we are currently partnering with many projects such as Superverse. This is a partnership which we announced last week as well. So the lands will be multi-chain, and the way how it works is holders of those lands will be able to choose on which chain they want to run their lands. And this is particularly important and interesting for all these like L2s which have recently launched, and some of them are about to launch. And we want to put the Zevers in center of all these like gaming L2s and just like a regular, I would say, layer twos, which are looking for a game, which are looking for Zevers to bring like the activity on their own chain. And yeah, so it essentially means we are creating with the lens we are creating like a competitive environment for all these different ecosystems. So just imagine we may have like 100 different lands running, let's say, on Game 7 chain, which is coming up sometime soon. we may have like a few hundred lands running on Arbitrum. We may have even few hundred lands running like on BSC. You name it, even Ronin. And that basically means players who will be looking to play will be essentially running all these transactions whenever they use these lands on that ecosystem. And for that, we're building like unified user experience. So that will basically happen seamless behind the scenes, which will be powered by Treasure TDK. So this, I think, is pretty important question, because this answers what, basically the answers where the demand will come in the future for the lands. Because imagine like there will be a new ecosystem launching its own chain, and they're looking to bootstrap their ecosystem. So what they're going to do is they will be coming in and they will be like scooping up like 50, 100 plots from the market, and they will be giving it to their community to run it, and therefore like generate a lot of activity. So it's actually, it's pretty important, because that's also some way, it's basically like way how we'll be like self-replicating, because Zevers will be able to tap into every possible L2 with this design, and therefore onboard and bring in like all the different communities around the space from different ecosystems. I guess this also opens up a few interesting DeFi things, such as L2s, opening up the grant systems for landholders, and basically bribing them to run their land on that different chain. So, what do you think, Jackal? This is something new we are dropping here. What are your thoughts?
I love it. I wanted to ask about so, for example, if let's talk about gloops. So let's say there's plots with gloop nodes on Ronin and gloop nodes on Arbitrum. So the resource is fished out. They There's gonna be gloops on Ronin and gloop like fish already on both chains, right? So how would they how they work together? Like how would Gex work in a such case?
So in between that, we'll have seamless bridge solution. So at the end of the day, whatever is sold in, let's say, game exchange is brought in our home chain, which is going to be a treasure. But on these different like lands, players will be able to like just play on that chain. So yeah, it's a bridge solution, and this is where layer 0 partnership, which Treasure has, will come into the play, and is particularly important. So it'll work like a magic. Like it sounds like a fun. It'll work like a
Intended.
magic. Yeah.
Pun intended.
So,
That's amazing. I love that.
yeah, I think it becomes particularly interesting when there are some rare land plots where there is only available so few specific resources, and that basically puts the landholder in a place where he has pretty much control first who gets these resources, because he can choose who can come on and play on their land. And then even more important, which ecosystems gets all of that on-chain activity to their chain. So it just opens up like this like crazy decision-making process and flexibility for landholders. And I'm pretty excited to see how this plays out. Okay, Broom wants to come on the stage.
Hey guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's morning for me. That's exciting to hear about the different chains and things. Just a quick question. How is it going to work with the masks that are, I think, on L1 or
Okay, good question. Even so the lands and the masks, they're still staying on L1. And that this is because it gives us like this flexibility to run the activity itself on any L2. That's one of the reasons why we, in the first place, didn't want to mint lands on Arbitrum, but we wanted them to stay at on L1. So yeah.
Okay, nice. And does this multi-chain extend out your gameplay release for the land gameplays? Or is it just kind of something you've been working with Treasure and everything to roll out when you're
This
expecting it?
is so this is what we've been working on with Treasure. So the beauty of L2s is that more or less all of the contracts are same. So what we end up doing is we end up whitelisting certain chains and just deploying these contracts on those chains. And the magic happens with the bridge, which allows to move these assets seamlessly between all these different ecosystems.
Okay, nice. I just have one more question. I'll let you continue your AMA schedule. Are you going to be releasing it in, like you said before, different biomes are first, and then they kind of go in a succession in order like that? Is that how you're planning on releasing the gameplay for the land?
Okay, so good question. So the way how we are planning this is we have like this base layer game, which is think of Zverse as it is now, just much like many times bigger, and we'll start with this isolated region in grasslands biome first, and this is where the main game will be played. So there will be like a few quests for players to complete. There will be a bunch of resources extractable by the players, and there will be a few new game modes which will be tailored to the grassland. But on top of that, as a another layer, there is private lands. And when we're releasing lands, we're releasing all 9 different biomes at the same time. And from that point, we are introducing all these different resources which are just not available in the base game at all. And we will be just working with the team to slowly expand the base layer, the main world, to gradually include every possible biome and offer all these different like quest experiences and game mode experiences as we go down with the project. But with the lands, all different 9 biomes will be playable on the same day, and all of them will contain resources which will have a use case on the same day. So that gives landholders and communities around these lands quite an advantage because, yeah, you will have a piece of it's kind of like getting a content which is not released in the game, at least for public use in the beginning.
Early
And
access.
this, yeah, it's kind of like early access, just for economy. Okay, I hope that answers the question.
All right,
Okay.
bro. Anything else, or do we continue?
Oh yeah, definitely. I like the answers. Yeah, I appreciate it. I was just gonna let you guys continue with your regular schedule AMA stuff. Thank you for answering. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Thanks. Appreciate you. All right.
Okay, I see there are already few questions in chat. So, how many lands will be available? So in total, like the total supply is 3,333 lands, and same is basically the same number as the mask supply. And for these who maybe just joined the community and started playing the game, the masks will have utility on the lands, and essentially, I have had a chance to um, try to explain the idea and mechanic what masks enables on the lands for already quite a while. So I'm always like trying to reference on something uh, what's hot on the market. And I think one way to think of this is the moment you put the mask on your land gets like a almost pump that fun type of mechanic where people can trade on the bonding curve, and think of that as like market cap for the land. So the more people are like trading on your land on that bonding curve, the higher bonuses you get for the players playing on the land, along with the trading fees. So this is it's going to be quite interesting experiment to see, because um, every land itself almost becomes some sort of like a coin, and each land will have its own market cap, which is on the other hand becoming one of the core utilities for the Z token. So regarding the specific biomasks and the lands, so the answer is no. You will be able to choose any mask you want to stake on the land, but keep in mind every mask, based on its traits, it has its own unique bonuses. And the moment you apply the mask on the land, the moment you stake it, uh, these bonuses will be applied to those players who are playing on the land. And by then having this mechanic where people are able to basically buy and sell like a shares of your land, these bonuses will be multiplied. So the higher the market cap for your land, the better the multiplier you get for the bonuses which comes out of your mask. So obviously there will be some synergy between certain types of masks with certain types of attributes. But in short, any mask works. Okay. Question regarding security. So delegation, it basically comes into the topic where we are looking to explore like lending market. It's not just the ability to delegate people, like just delegate ability to run land for someone, and this is pretty much where we want to create a bit more than that, where you can just it should be kind of like a lending market rather than just a pure delegation system. And this is we're actually speaking with Trish around this as well, because I don't think it makes that much sense for us to work on that internally, and we'll be working on the treasure to basically build lending market at some point, and lands will be part of that.
So I want to like repeat a question from the previous AMA. And given that lands are social asset, how does a tribe owning multiple lands co-interact, right? Because we have the master chief with his land, and the tribe members also possess multiple lands. I know there's questions about can they merge, or how your comments on this?
Yeah, good question. So think of that as if you have like a tribe where there are multiple players owning multiple pieces of land. It's think of that as a country, and your mainland as a capital of that country. So your core tribe can have as many lands as you want. It basically just increase your influence in economy, in the land wars, tribe wars, basically coming out as well. But it's more like your tribe becomes like a central tribe of like that land cluster, and then you can run like separate tribes for the players who just want to play on each of these specific lands. So it's also a way to the way to look on this is as a guild. So you may have like this main tribe, which is like a core, like I would call it like a core investor circle. Like this is this internal group, and then because you're running like multiple lands, you want to manage the players who are playing on these multiple lands, and for each land you get additional one tribe, which includes everyone who is playing on these other lands, and that gives you and you basically need a way to structure this in this way, because you need to have like ability to manage and certain rules for different lands and different groups of these peoples. So easy way to think of this is you have a country, you have a capital city, and then you have like a multiple cities around your country, which are these multiple lands represented by your tribe.
Neat. I wanna call back to a conversation me and you had, where you talked about how future equipment might be released to Zevers, and I do feel like the way lands impact the future of Zevers and scales together with growing amounts of active players, even though there isn't growing amounts of Shield of Souls and stuff like that. And how would future equipment be introduced into the game? And yeah,
So the thing about future equipment, and I've been seeing and saying that Zevers is and will become fully player-driven economy, is that we will be starting to abstain from introducing any new content which won't be craftable. So that basically means whatever new stuff we introduce will be either craftable by the players or partly craftable by the players. And by partly craftable, I mean there will be like a new game modes where you may get, let's say, like a shard of shield or something like that, like a piece of equipment. But you'll still need to have a skill to craft that piece of like loot you just obtained from like a killing some large dragon or something into a piece which can be equipped and used by the players. So in short, the way how we plan to do this is we want to give like this freedom to players themselves to produce whatever they may need and use in the future of the game. And the collections, what we currently have, like you mentioned, Shield of Souls, they will become more like an artifacts, like a strong artifacts from early days of the game, and that's one of the reasons why it's called the Genesis Collection. So we wanted to have this lore inside the game and like a story behind these rare and powerful items when we'll be looking back a few years from now. So yeah, I think this will be quite well balanced by players being able to create and do whatever they want. Yeah, I
great
think
answer.
there.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to comment. We have another speaker coming up.
Hello everyone, I'm Žeka and I'm from CryptoCats. We have
Hey.
we have a couple of questions.
Yo, yo.
There are 5 questions. So I have missed about the price of minting lands. Can you repeat, please?
You haven't missed. We haven't announced it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
That will come. That will come shortly. The main, the thing I can disclose, it will be a bit more expensive than it was a year ago. But
Okay.
yeah.
The second question: will there be a tribal or guild battle in the near future? I don't know, maybe a lands guild battle.
Yeah. So this is what we refer to as tribe wars, and it was actually represented on the first game trailer released last year. Obviously, that was some while ago, but that's what we have planned as an end game for the tribes. We want to make a strategic game mode where tribes will be fighting against other tribes, and that will be not just like a pure battle as a form of a tournament, but that will be more like a strategic play where you will be trying to control the map and use your land to summon the beasts who will essentially represent your tribe. Yeah, I think we can maybe later dive deep into that more. But for now, short answer is yes. There is.
Okay, thank you. It's really sounds really cool. Okay, the third question. When will the price? The question is about Soul Shard. Price will be decrease, and what about their expiration date?
Okay, so the next Soul Shard, what will come into the play most likely? Like we haven't like finalized the design, but I would say 90% likely will come as monthly membership type of thing. So, and the current Soul Shards will be given a grace period. So even if the player unluckily buys it on the day when we announce the new Soul Shards, they will still have utility for those Soul Shards to cover. So it doesn't really make a difference for the players, even if they do like the worst possible timing. And we are planning to do this around the same time with the global launch, as we will be starting to onboard players who may not even have had like any exposure to crypto gaming previously. We want to make Zeroes more user friendly and user experience more streamlined with with the designs and with the experiences what Web2 players are used to. So this will be more or less together with the global launch.
Okay, thank you. We are still having in our inventory seal shells. Will they have any practical use? I don't know, for lands?
There are few ideas. So for now, they have been more like an artifacts from the previous whitelist campaign. We have few ideas, and I guess I can share some of them. So the one which currently seems to be the main idea is will be fuck, Kiwi, should I tell it? Won't it ruin the whole thing?
Uh, I'm not sure. I think you can share. Um,
Okay. Yeah. I won't share every single detail. So basically the idea is that we'll be releasing like a new item which will allow people to use the shell, but not in its current form. And when this item will be used, it will start something similar as an airdrop party, something what you experienced in a party island. So the players who have that will be able to pop up the party, and players around them will be able to participate, and they will be able to catch some gifts and some rewards from that mini event. What every shell used will spawn. So yeah, that's the idea. But I won't share more details because we want to create it in this story way where which will need its own introduction at that time.
yeah, so we want to kind of figure out the complete story first before we share, so it makes all sense, so it's all fits into the story and all that. But yeah.
Okay. And the last question, and really important, is because we want to know about investments and when will be information of investments will be publicly.
Uh, Actually, we shared quite a lot of that information publicly, but if you're referring to announcement, uh, most likely coming up with the TGE. So we have closed early 2 rounds. That was like already a while ago, and we have pretty much closed the latest round as well. But like this one big announcement will come sometime before the TG. But yeah, if you check that where you can see most of our partners, we
Oh,
have posted for most of these partners, and even if you open up the Zverse webpage,
okay.
then you can see on the partner list and on the investor list some guys like Mechanism Capital, Trubik Ventures, Treasure DAO, uh, Mr. Block. Then there's like few really strong advisors and angels who are helping us to scale across different regions. One of the early angels is Kevin Lin. He's co-founder of Twitch, for example. So yeah, I understand the question. I guess this one big announcement will come sometime soon before DG.
Yeah, it's because
So it
we
plays.
wanna also know who contributed how much and some details about.
Okay, I guess that won't be public information though, but we will share what we can share because at the same time we have some legal bindings with the contracts we sign, and usually it's just like not disclosed in a way with every single detail.
Okay. Another quick question, but really important. Will there be more corn events?
Uh, I don't know. So the party island essentially replaced the corn events. So
Okay.
uh, like the whole story, like the whole evolution was we started with the curve event, which was this one-off experience, and we found that everybody really loved that experience. So we wanted to scale it into some replayable experience, so people could have this experience multiple times, and so we can create it more like a social event inside the game. And then we had uh like the harvest corn event running. I think it was almost for a year. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it started to become quite repetitive in a way, and it also started to become uh, more complex as we uh, add new stuff on the mainland, because that event was actually happening on the mainland. And what it does, it turns all of the game in this corn mode. So we also started to see a bunch of issues having coming up with that. And then we thought, okay, we are pushing for the next step, which is we want to create like isolated space, which is Party Island, so we can have such kind of experiences, and we also are able to um, develop and invest more towards creating it more flexible. So besides dropping just the corn loot pods, we can start dropping different items, different tokens, also tokens for different projects. So it becomes a platform for a bunch of different collaborations. And yeah, I guess most likely we won't see corn event coming back, but all the future events will be held into Party Island, at least for now.
Okay,
To
because
add
here,
one more, sorry, just to add one more quick glaring issue we had, which we noticed with the corn events, is that it wasn't new user friendly at all. It was about memory, where, and I'm sure you knew that as well. I use that as well. I learned where corn pods spawn, like one or two, and everybody just sat at their known spot and picked them out immediately as they spawned, meaning when new people came in, wanted to try it out, they could pretty much never get their hands on the pods until they learned the spot. So it became like this loop of like standing in one spot and just waiting for a spawn, which, uh, if it was absolutely random, different, but that's what we have the party island for. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, one more thing to add towards this is I remember we had some weird experiences for new players starting the game the moment the corn event starts. So they were
yeah,
like trying
I'm
to
agree.
complete
I have
tutorial
used
in this all chaos.
I have used also me used this spawn place about corn.
Okay.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
very
So
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great questions.
Okay, good luck, good day.
Thanks.
Okay.
To quickly answer the Bar of the Ethers question, yes, we are working and improving the party island because uh, yeah, it's been exciting. All right, another speaker, come on right up.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me now? Just got
Pretty
the
Yeah.
well. Hey.
Hey man, what's up, guys? I just got a
Hey, what's up?
quick question regarding the referral system. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it because, as I can see, you've abandoned like the previous version, and I think it will greatly benefit the community and all the content creators because it will probably attract even bigger audience for your game.
Yeah, you're completely right. So the reason why we abandoned the previous version, originally we thought that it will really empower the creators because they will be able to mint and airdrop like these NFTs, which also act like as a referral codes um, in like a new interesting way, and like it will allow us to build. And we actually managed to build like this on-chain um, revenue share system. But what actually ended up happening is people really started to abuse it. And whenever somebody bought a V token in exchange, there were like instantly 10 ambassador tokens airdropped to that wallet. And we didn't saw any other like real solution to that. So we decided that we will take the good experiences we learn from this, and we will sunset the ambassador program. And in the future, what we want to do is we want to, and we actually have designs for this already. So we want to build a two-tiered uh, referral system. So first of all, it will be directly integrated in the game. So even for the regular players, they will have incentive to invite their friends, and that may be inviting like just one or two peoples and having fun with them and receiving some bonuses and rewards around that. And on that same system, what we plan to do is we plan to build a bit bigger system which contains different tier of incentives for the creators. And these things come in as a form of revenue share and the point share. So there is like incentive outside of additional game bonuses for the creators. That's probably the easy way to put it. And yeah, but for us, we felt that it's really important to give this system for like every regular player and just integrate it directly inside the game. So without the need to have any outside web page to handle all these mechanics and referrals. So on, yeah.
I see what you mean, man. Thank you so much for your answer. Cheers, guys.
Thank you for question. Cheers.
All right. So there's one question that's like buzzing around. Could you kind of sketch out the roadmap after the lands in terms of TGE? Like how soon
Oh yeah,
after?
totally. So I'll probably not go into like every single thing what's on the roadmap, but there are a few things. So we've been really ramping up speed on skill development. So we'll see two new skills arriving this week. That I guess demands AMA on its own because it introduces like roughly 40 new items and really a lot of other stuff and new like battle mechanics and so on. But we are ramping up with the skills and we'll be releasing two new skills this week. After that, will be followed by one more new skill this year. And we plan to do the remaining four skills in one batch, aiming for like February or so. And this is like really important because this is one of the roadblocks for us to release the land gameplay. Otherwise, we release like the lands and players realize that because the land contains a resource which is used by a skill which is not released, uh, it has like no really use, right? So these skills were like a roadblock for us to release the lands, and this is where we really ramped up the speed. So we're looking around February to release the last remaining skills, and at that point we should have everything in place. At the same time, we're looking to have TGE on Q1. I know it's been like moving as we go, but I think the timing is great, and also we really needed to have lands in a place to release the token because what we want to have is really strong utility from the day one. And before we are doing the TGE, we'll be having this big open beta experience. Maybe Kiwi can tap in on this. He's been working on this thing for all year round since we had a first land mint last year. But in short, this will give ability for players to set foot on the lands and on the new main game. Yeah, Kiwi, maybe.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, the main idea is to create this first kind of demo place where any player could feel how the whole land could feel and look. So we are really working on the first grassland kind of plot where all this is like really focused and worked out because the whole land is so huge that it will take quite some time to actually create everything. So we start with grassland, and then we will start with continue with all the other biomes. That's the initial plan. So yeah, and I think the most exciting thing here is that in the in the land that is the demo land from the grassland, we will implement these new quests and some new things to do there that are not from inside the lobby at the moment, for example, like wild Z's and stuff like that. So that's something like really looking forward to it. And one of the main coolest things, I think, that you'll be able to rotate the camera. So that is something that I'm looking forward to for the last, I don't know, 2 years. So yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Any new battles coming up on the demo?
I'm not sure it will be available on the demo day, but one thing we feel is that when we have this large world which can be explored, we want to enable players to see some like living beings on this whole world. And some of these beings will be like NPCs in the cities, but a lot of them will be actually a concept called wild Z's. And this means we want to build, we are building a system where players will be able to battle these Z's directly on the main game, so without like entering the dungeon mode. So yeah, you will be able to travel the world, and there will be some like wild Z's. Some of them will be aggressive, some of them won't be aggressive, and they will be kind of also, I guess, the gatekeeper. And also, it will become a new way to train the taming skill and essentially try to farm some drops from from disease. But one thing I really wanted to clarify and make it clear is, so with this demo coming out, it's almost like we're releasing two games at once, because on the base level you have all this new world which like players can explore, but on this new world there are uh, few like a travel points. We actually haven't decided the name, so we can still use the name portal, code name Portal for that. And this will be the portals to your lands, and you will be actually able to step in that portal, and you will be able to play and explore the different lands. And yeah, so this will be pretty big demo release, and we will just, it will pretty much be like a ready game, but we really want to just collect some experience to see how the game is working, how the performance is handling before we do like a full release. Yeah, and that happens before the TGE. So all of that is backed into Q1. And as we are entering the TGE stage, we'll be sharing more around the tokenomics. We have spent a lot of time looking how to improve the tokenomics designs, because we've seen so many games working with the same 2021 token designs where it just doesn't work anymore in the current market. So this is where a lot of our investors and VCs have been helping us, and we've been like, um, we have basically something fresh to offer. So can share more now about that. And also, we'll be starting to ramp up the airdrop campaign. But again, I think really important thing to keep in mind here is that we will really prioritize our original players and our core community, which is represented by the lands and by the masks. So we'll be looking to we'll be looking to integrate not integrate, basically increase the allocations for the lands and for the masks, because at the end of the day we really want to build a system and design which leads into airdropping token for our really dedicated community who have been with us for already. Some of you have been around for like 3 years, and yeah, so best way to get piece of that obviously is having a land and having a mask. Okay, what about eggs from regular dungeons? So yeah, that's a good question. We actually do have, if you pay attention to the trailer we shared, there are a few Z's inside that trailer which haven't been discussed anywhere, and we understand that like we had like something we call like a technical debt when it was about Genesis and Lapsas. So we really needed to take care of them first, but in the future, most of new Z's will be introduced through the eggs, and as it should be. So, like new Z's coming from the eggs. Obviously, there will be some events which may also introduce some new Z's, but we really plan to expand the existing Z base. And currently there is even with all the labs that's introduced and all the Genesis Z's which will be introduced, we'll have like 6 types, and we are planning to expand that to 12 Z types in total in the future. So yeah, I guess that answers the question.
Hey, there's a great question about Z's and how they voluntarily do labor on your own lands, and yeah, their levels, how the influence between the levels, evolutions, and stuff like that, and how you will find use for your dormant Z's. Can you
Oh
talk
yeah,
about it?
totally. So this is again where land comes in as a solution. So besides land offering some farming plots or some fishing ponds where you can train your skills and farm these valuable resources, land also introduces a concept called voxel mining. You may saw like some of these big cubes on the lands which we showed in the video. And the way how voxel mining will work is by players staking their Z's on that land. But the voxel mining concept itself is actually inspired a bit from the Bitcoin mining. So we wanted to create a system where each land has a fixed supply of voxels, what can be mined. But with every voxel mined, the difficulty increases. So think of this as you have like probably 10 Z's, which are just like chilling in your inventory. You really don't have a use for them. Some of them may be like level 30, some of them may be like level 10, and maybe there are some guys who are like really high level, but you just don't find a real use for them. And you don't want to lend them out or do anything. You want to actually use them yourself. And this is where the voxel mine will come into the play. And based on your Z level and some other specific traits, you will have a certain mining power in that pool. And so think of this as every player who decides to stake the Z's in a voxel mine will be contributing to mining power to mine these voxels. And whenever like voxel is mined, it will be assigned to basically one random winner who like think of that as like winning a block reward. So and this happens like pretty much every single minute. So there is like constantly yield in the form of voxels what your Z's will be able to earn. And yeah, and from the voxels there is another like a creator economy popping up where you will be able to use these voxels to adjust and customize the land and essentially create objects and environments on your own land. So yeah, that's the core utility what's planned for disease and for disease which may not have that much use anymore. I see like Global has asked whitelist question already 2 or 3 times here. So we're not like really planning to like dramatically improve the existing system. We're planning to change it as we go. So the whole purpose of analytics team doing review is to check for any fishy stuff, and it doesn't mean we don't trust our players, but based on the game theory, whenever there is something to exploit, it will be exploited. And we've seen many times it also comes from the players who have been around for a while. So instead of like opening up like a new loopholes, we really just want to stick with the current system where roughly every 2 weeks we have analytic teams which just have a look on every withdrawal. They give a green light, and we let these withdrawals through. So yeah, that's that. What we may do, though, however, is instead of airdropping them, we will just press the button which accepts the withdrawal, so you can withdraw it yourself. But we don't plan to do, at least for now, like a whitelist type of stuff which pass every restriction. Yeah, you will be able to rent out your lands if you got few of them, and it's kind of like if you what does it mean to rent out the land? It basically means you're delegating the management to someone else, because if you are okay to manage these lands yourself, you can basically run multiple like tribes of the players who are playing on them, and you can just collect the fees. But when it comes to like land delegation and renting, it's more like you're delegating the management hustle to someone else. I think this may be a pretty big thing as well, as there will be probably players really looking to owning a piece but not being able to afford. So they may come in and play and really help you to manage the lands and manage the players playing on these lands. Okay.
I quickly to kind of touch upon the third evolution of Lapsa. And there's a lot of like what's gonna be Genesis Z's. Genesis Z's won't have evolutions, and as far as no spoilers, but going forward, going past the level 100, we do. A Z cannot be discarded like a level 100. It's gonna scale. Either in power or abilities. But yeah, your Z is good for all the way until level 200, regardless of the Z. Rest is up to strategy and team comp. Yeah, that's a super cryptic way, but I hopefully a guiding answer.
Oh, there is one more question. Can you mine on land owned by other players? Yes. We are still in like between setting the rules for this, but in simple answer is yes, as long as landowner allows that, and landowners will be able to pretty much set the rules, who can play on these lands and what are the fees, and are there like public or closed or invite only. So we really plan to delegate this decision making process to landowners themselves. Okay. Okay, what's the plan to onboard Web2 users, the Zevers? So, and when do we'll reach 1 million daily active users per day? Okay, really specific. I can start by saying we have quite an extensive experience in the Web2 gaming market before we even started to build Zevers. So we have had a lots of hands-on experience around user acquisition across more traditional channels such as Facebook and Google. And it's important to note that early this year, Google announced that it finally allows and pretty much like green lights the NFT game ads. And this really opened up the doors for us. So the plan will be quite simple for us. We'll be running paid user acquisition campaigns in these traditional channels. And as we onboard these users, we'll be also using a really data-driven approach to build perfect onboarding user experience. And as these users play, obviously it brings us a challenge. How do we recoup the costs from the user acquisition? Because let's say if we want to acquire like 100,000 users a day, it based on the region will cost us anywhere between 500k to probably from 100k to 500k for a high quality user. And that basically means we have to recoup these costs in a matter of six months to 12 months. And this is where we are looking to partner with many different exchanges. We saw this meta working really well in Telegram games, where Telegram games were able to bring a lot of new users to exchanges. And in return, these projects earn from the referral fees from these new users. So when it comes to the Web2, we really want to build this funnel and we want to build it really solid. So it's scalable, and we'll be aiming to bring in these new user, give them a great game experience, open up the world of Web3 gaming, and then eventually onboard them into the exchanges, where first of all, they will be able to buy the token to keep playing the game and keep advancing. But at the same time, they will become our referrals, which will generate revenue. So we can keep pushing marketing more and more across these Web2 channels. So that's the plan in the nutshell. Of course, it has like many more details, but the whole process will become clearer and clearer as we go. And again, for that we need tokens and exchanges. So that's something we've been working on for a while now. Okay. I guess we can maybe start to wrap up. Maybe there are some last minute questions around the land, but I think the main point is that lands will become a huge integral part of the Zevers. And we have planned many partnerships which are starting to ramp up now until the mint date. So it's going to be a really busy and really packed month, packed with also some in-game updates, such as 2 new skills coming out this week. But generally, there will be a lot of stuff happening around the lands, and we are happy to share this experience with you guys and with everyone who's here today. Jagal, maybe there is anything else to add?
No, I see we're starting to get into the questions of heist and stuff like that, and I've provided some context on this already in written form, but I do feel like we could have a more game based AMA, maybe just a campfire chant where we could discuss more like current in-game issues a bit more, and keep this one for the lands.
Yeah, I agree. I think because we're releasing 2 new skills, that obviously has an impact on game. So why not combine these two things? So yeah.
All
Also
right.
noticed about landowner Discord role. I think we should add this.
We have it. You can go verify the mask to receive it. We've had it for, I believe, like half a year. But yeah, it's. I do feel like currently the whole the way we have the Discord role hierarchy set up with like the mask owners, it does not saturate our Discord when you are coming in. You know how sometimes you visit some Discords and you see like the whole spectrum of the rainbow in the user's colors, and then you don't have like a clear hierarchy who's team member, who's not. And we're very fond of the current layout, and I think that's what you're referring for. Custom colors. But hey, guys, if everybody comes together and says, Jackal, we want new colors, then hey, I'm here to satisfy. So
Yes, please invent new colors.
I'll do my best. All right. Yeah. As always, I will post a recap, post the recording. I'm around almost all the time in the general chat. Euler as well. So just ping us and we can talk more. So yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Great.
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.